Well, a trial has started for the man accused of shooting and killing an aspiring rapper.
Began with a dispute over money.
I didn't know that he had his buddy outside waiting on me to ambush me.
And at that point, I told him, you're going to be locked up.
He started yelling, don't let him leave, shoot, shoot, shoot. That's why I started shooting.
You're looking to spend the rest of your life in prison.
I had through an event before, the night before, and the event went sour. Everybody wanted their money back. I wasn't able to give everybody their money back. I had to go and give one of the guys their plane ticket that was supposed to have been performing. When I got to the hotel to give him his plane ticket to get back home, that's when this incident took place.
Yeah, so, and we're not talking about a huge amount of money. This guy that you were dealing with that ended up attacking you, he was wanting, what, $900 or something like that?
$900.
Yeah, $900. And that's all it took to set him off. So
Yes, sir.
In the hotel, were you worried about this guy at all?
I was, because I was trying to calm this guy down because I knew his ego was in the way when he was in front of his buddies. So when he told me to come outside, I thought that was a good way to have a grown man conversation. If I owe you, I'll give you your money back. If I don't owe you, then I won't give you your money back. I didn't know that he had his buddy outside waiting on me to ambush me.
I've watched the video of the incident. It just looked like two guys talking. Then things went really bad and all of a sudden he's punching you. What was he saying that made you think, man, this is gonna go bad and I'm gonna have to defend myself?
Yeah, he told me if I didn't get the money out of my pocket right then, that the guy that was standing over there to ambush me was going to shoot me. And that's why I started shooting, because he started yelling, shoot, 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 don't let him leave, shoot.
Now I watched this video and to me it looked textbook. Taking immediate action, moving to get towards cover, to put some space between, drawing a gun almost perfectly and stop that threat. So what kind of training did you have, if any, before this happened?
I was going to school, classes to be a downrange officer. So I wanted to teach people the safety behind guns, how to use your gun, how to pull your gun, where not to point your gun and things of that sort. And that's some of the training that I had, just gun safety. And when this took place, it was just instinct.
What were you thinking as you moved toward cover, as you hopped in your car?
I was thinking that he was going to return fire. I thought that he ran around the car to take cover to return fire, but he ran in the building, and I didn't know that because I was in shock.
Well, yeah, and as dynamic as the situation is, he's moving and you lost sight of him.
Yes, sir.
You gotta expect that in that time frame, the other guy telling him to shoot you, somebody's probably coming out to shoot you.
I'm like, I gotta get out of here because I'm outnumbered at this point. It's 6 to 7 guys in that building. Potentially, it could be 3 to 4 guns in that building. You know what I mean? So therefore, I had to leave the situation before I had to do anything else or protect somebody else. So I had to get out of there. That was the best option for me.
What was going through your mind at that point?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I gotta tell you, I was kind of frantic. I've never been in a situation like that. I was nervous, so I drove off and I got home and I'm like, stomach hurting, frantic. It snapped to me. I'm part of the USCCA. I'm a member. These guys said they're gonna help me. Let me call them. So I called my attorney's number, which is John, a good guy. I called him, he told me where to meet him, I met him.
I received a call and I was told that a member was at a hotel, a Marriott in downtown Lexington, and was attacked and used deadly force as a defense, and then left the scene and was not in jail. You
spoke with him within 10 minutes of the original call that you got from the USCCA critical response team?
I got to speak with the member, Jacouri, within 10 minutes after that call. And at that point, I told him, you need to understand you're going to be locked up and there could be a bond you're not going to post. So we need to start focus on winning this case because you're looking to spend the rest of your life in prison. If there's a homicide and there's a body, and at least in Kentucky, if the person that shot the gun is not a police officer, there's going to be a charge. We all expected an arrest because of the seriousness of the case. I knew that it was important to actually have a face-to-face contact with him before he was arrested. So we met within an hour of the phone call.
How did it make you feel to have that attorney that fast?
Something came over me to where, like, I'm okay. When I got to speak to him and he just reassured me like, "You're gonna be okay, Mr. Burns."
So now we're getting to the point where you meet with your attorney, but it turns out you spent more than 400 days in jail.
I did 480 days in jail.
Tell us why Jacouri had to spend 480 days in jail. He did everything right. He did the right things, but he still spent 480 days in jail. We need to understand a little bit more about that.
A big chunk of that time, over 10 months of that time, was because the courts were closed due to COVID. So the courts weren't having any trials because we weren't having any jurors brought in. Once that was lifted, there was such a backlog of trials. The people that were arrested before Jacouri went first, okay? So the quickest trial we could get was when we tried the case. In fact, the Commonwealth, the prosecution tried to delay it again right before his trial when we were able to work around that delay.
So what was it that kept you going for 480 days in jail? What gave you hope waiting for this to work itself through the court?
When I went to jail, it was the beginning of COVID. So nobody was able to visit me. I wasn't able to see none of my family, and it was like rough. John, my attorney, he kept me on the straight and narrow, and my family, shout out to them, they kept me on the straight and narrow, kept my mindset good.
Jacouri's taken into custody. He's there in jail. As things started to unfold, what was the first stuff you started to look for?
I was right behind law enforcement's investigation because he made the phone call early. Usually the evidence, some of it that's good is no longer available, and I'm playing catch up. But this was a case where I was able to preserve evidence and prepare him for the interrogation. Usually you can't do that.
Did the USCCA membership provide you the resources that you needed to make sure you could mount the best possible legal defense?
This case involved high-grade video evidence. I knew the video evidence was going to be the crux of the case. We had to have a tech person who could use this video in the courtroom without having a video expert and other resources that pretty much unlimited that he had as a member. Without that, you could easily maybe not be convicted of murder, but it could be a manslaughter or a reckless homicide, and it would be a bad result for someone that was innocent. There's a lot of people that hire lawyers that aren't really qualified to put on an effective defense on a murder case, or lawyers that just don't have the resources to do it, okay? And Jacouri had both, so he was able to present the case.
You know that right from the start, this is a USCCA member, things are going to be a little bit easier for you.
It's a lot easier for a lawyer that has all these resources to challenge the state's case. Normally, you have to present the client's defense based on limited resources. But with Jacouri, right from the start, I could get an investigator out to look at the hotel, but there's crime scenes that will change over the period of time, so you have to get out there and film, photograph, preserve it, and we're able to do that, and then also get witnesses. There was lots of witnesses that the membership allowed us to go track these people down early, and normally a client would not have those resources to be able to get an investigator out there, and to be able to do that within 2 weeks of being retained is really almost unheard of because very few clients can afford that.
How did your USCCA membership help you? Was your attorney able to get all of the things that you needed to help build your defense while you were sitting there in jail?
Yes, sir. He was definitely able to get all of my phone records and things of that sort. And due to the USCCA, he was able to put money on my books and help me out through my course of being incarcerated. The USCCA just surprised me on different spectrum. When my mother called you all to figure things out, y'all were good hand in hand with her, helped her ease her mind. I just felt like I had a bike with training wheels. I didn't have to do nothing but ride.
After the week-long trial, it was clear that police had wrongly prosecuted. The judge apologized to Jacouri, which is unheard of. After a person's found not guilty and they've been in custody, they don't just say you can walk out of the courtroom. You actually have to be processed, which means you're still in custody after you're found not guilty until you're taken back to the jail and processed out. And the judge said, I'm sorry, but you can't just leave the courtroom, but I'm going to let you just step over the bar and go into the audience and hug your family.
Jacouri, after everything you've been through, after this whole long process, would you have gotten through this without a USCCA membership?
No, sir.
If Jacouri was just a regular defendant that didn't have the membership, didn't have those benefits, okay, I would say it would have been 50-50.
How are you feeling now that it's behind you? How do you feel now?
Protecting myself, I didn't see that it was gonna take everything from me, but made me learn a beautiful lesson. Like, it grew me up, it made me a better man. My family's okay. I pray for his family on a day-to-day basis. And like I say, I had to do what I had to do to go home. And I feel all right, man. I feel all right.
Insurance has been purchased by the USCCA and is one of the benefits of membership in the USCCA. Coverage and benefits are subject to the terms, conditions, and exclusions of the insurance policy issued to the USCCA. Every USCCA member is an additional insured on that policy. Information provided herein is for informational purposes and is not intended to be a representation of coverage that may exist in any particular situation. USCCA membership is not available to residents of New Jersey, New York, or Washington State. Contact Delta Defense's customer engagement team at 1-800-674-9779 with any questions. Delta Defense LLC provides sales, marketing, operations, and administrative support services to the USCCA and is a licensed insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, with its principal office in West Bend, Wisconsin. Delta Defense LLC does business as Delta Defense Insurance Services in California. California license number 0M34093.